Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you and showcasing another beautiful woman and her expertise with all of you today. I am here with the beautiful and amazing LaShonde, and she is going to talk to you about managing, creating, and maybe changing a little bit about your money story and your wealth knowledge and how you can create that. Whether you're a single mom, whether you're in business, whether you're just like, I get to be connected to the attention of details. This is like wherever you're at, this conversation is going to be beautiful. So without further ado, LaShonde, can you please just tell us a little bit about you? And first question I have right now is, what made you get started in this business adventure? So the floor is yours.
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. My name is LaShonde McCrary. I'm the owner of BookCity LLC. It's a virtual bookkeeping company. So we do the bookkeeping and accounting for small and medium business owners. That's kind of our specialty, is the people that are getting their business started. They're in the growth phase. Those are the people that we really want to help and reach out to. Just a little backstory of how I got started with doing bookkeeping. I actually got into it by accident. I was on a path to be a physical therapist and I got pregnant. And because of that, I had to kind of stop doing helping the patients out because I didn't want to hurt myself or my baby at the time. So I kind of got moved to the front office, and there is kind of where I got thrown into it, but I fell in love with it, kind of helping with processes, learning the money side of things. That was something that kind of caught my attention, and I just kept going with it. So I decided to branch out on my own, start my own business. It started out with just me as an independent contractor, and eventually just the growth happened. And now I have a full team of people that we're here to help people grow their business and understand their finances.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I do not believe that things just kind of like, I believe things fall into place for a reason. So it sounds like you really made a pivot and you created abundance energy from something that could have been like, oh, well, now what do I do? Right. I love that. I love that. So bookkeeping doesn't sound fun to me. But you have like a smile on your face. I know it's fun for you. So tell us a little bit about how you help people in small businesses. For myself, and we have talked about this last time we had a conversation in 2020, from 2020 to 2023 now, that if you guys are watching this recording and wherever it is, so many people, women especially, but so many people went online and created their own businesses. And so just like your perspective, life changed for you. And so you pivoted in something different. And so maybe the women or the people in this membership or that are watching this video, they're like, I get to pivot, or how can I pivot? And how can this be, why is this so important? So why is it so important to know?
So I have a lot of friends that are business owners. Like, they did the same thing. I think the pandemic happened and people just got in the mindset of these jobs that you have, they might not always be secure. They might not always be there. So you have to kind of find your own wealth. Along with that, a lot of people, and I was guilty of this myself too when I first started. Like, you are working so hard of how you're going to get customers or how you're going to make money that you're not really thinking about what you're spending your money on, or where money is going, or just the overall financial picture of your business. So that's kind of where bookkeeping comes in. It's actually funny because I had a Facebook friend post a couple of years ago, and he was wondering why he owed $10,000 in taxes. And he was a brand new business. Like, this is a brand new business. There's no way possible you should be owing $10,000 in taxes because you didn't make a profit. But just because of poor record keeping, not keeping track of expenses that could be deductible, or just kind of knowing where his money was going, he ended up with this big tax bill. So that kind of pushed me a little further of wanting to add like an educational portion to what I'm doing with bookkeeping, and just let people know, like, it's really important to keep your personal and your business finances separate, and make sure you're saving receipts. And I think a lot of people look at like when it's tax time, hand my accountant this big box of receipts and let them run with it. When you do bookkeeping, instead of you handing them a box of receipts, you're actually handing them a PDF file that has all your numbers in there, everything that they're going to need. It's going to make the process so easy, and it's going to be a lot cheaper because now instead of them having to charge you from going through all this stuff and basically putting into buckets, you're handing them the buckets there. And they can go ahead and just plug those numbers in. And I like to work in tandem with whoever people have, whether it's a tax preparer or a CPA. We'll kind of work in tandem because there are always going to be opportunities for the business owner to save money or make changes the next year. So when you see that document on paper, now we can have the conversations of, okay, well, let's maybe pivot here and do this next year, or let's try doing this, or maybe we should switch you over from just the LLC to an S Corp and have you run payroll so you can have that extra deduction on next year. And then instead of you being double taxed, now you're only being taxed one time. So there's so many things that I think business owners don't know, just because, like I said, you're in that, I gotta get my business started, I got to keep pumping, I got to do this, that you forget about those little things. And I just wanted to make sure that I was there to help people. I've always wanted to help people for like since I was a kid. So it just kind of kept on that path of just making sure people know what to do. I love seeing people start businesses. It's amazing to see people take their ideas and turn it into something that's going to be beneficial to someone else. So if I can be any part of that whatsoever, I'm happy with it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I love that this is your passion, because when women get involved in their own story and their own wealth, it just creates a completely different generational code. And I'm about creating different generational cycles and breaking the negative ones and creating positive ones. And this is one of them. Wealth is one of them. And I just read a post from a dear friend of mine. I'm in a network marketing company as well as my coaching business. And my other JOB is also a 1099. So I have 3 1099 situations, right? I am in basically 3 businesses. And so I have done this for a long time. I've had this network marketing business for 10 years, for a decade. And 82% of the people in network marketing are women. There is so many women out there creating a side hustle, falling in love with products or falling in love with a different, basically just products. And they're like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. It's just like a cup of coffee, right? We share what we love. And that's what your business should be, right? You share what you love. You started out individual and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. We're helping so many people. We're changing the trajectory of their life, their kids' life, their family, and the generational cycle. Like the ripple keeps going. And I see that ripple for you. And I see that ripple of how you can create change in people's families and in women's families. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be like, you might have been confused, because like I was super confused. I've been doing business in the coaching field for quite a while. And when I did my LLC, I was encouraged to do an LLC. And then afterwards realized I was going to be double taxed. And I'm like, okay, accountant, they didn't tell me that, like, right? So another lawyer that's another accountant was like, so maybe you should have been an S Corp. And I'm like, what is the difference between S Corp and LLC? And if you're not there yet, friends, it's okay. But if you're like, should I do an LLC or an S Corp? Ask the question, because now I'm be double taxed. But so many women and so many friends that are doing the jobs that I'm doing, or even on my team, is like, what do you get to write off? What do I document? What do I use? How I'm bringing in this. I got 4 coaching clients this month. What do I do to, so the end of the year doesn't make you feel defeated, right? That is we don't want to feel defeated at tax time. We would be like, yes, that's what we want to create, right? And you're creating a win-win, because you're educating your clients throughout the whole process so that it's not so sucky at the end of the year, right? Or they don't have this hidden $10,000 bill. They're like, okay, well,
wondering
why
where
am I even in this business? Where did this come from? And I should not even have been doing this business, right? Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. So, what are your clients saying? Like, what kind of massive difference so far? Like, just somebody that pops in your head. Like, just tell us a little bit about something that you just shifted somebody so much. Just bookkeeping, like I said, it doesn't sound fun for me, but friends, we need somebody that's paying attention to
Yeah.
all of those details.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients though. One thing I get like when I get feedback is that I've taken a lot of stress off of them, like just them being able to see the visibility. I have a PR client, and at one point, business was swimming for her, then it kind of plateaued. And every week when we meet, we'll go over, like what she's spending money on. And that's really where you find like, okay, why do I have this one recurring expense? I'm not even using that type of thing.
Mhm.
So she's able to kind of make sure she's in control of her recurring expenses, so that if there is a time where maybe there just aren't any big contracts coming in right now and revenue is kind of at a standstill, or it's just a constant, we're making sure we have reserves put to the side so she can pay her staff members. And we're just kind of taking the ease off, so that when she's out looking for clients, in the back of her mind, she's not thinking, oh, can I afford to do this? Can I pay for
Mhm.
that? Can I do this? And I mean, and she travels too. So she's getting out, she moves around just on a social level, and she's so comfortable just knowing that she has someone that's helping her stay in control of the finances, that it just takes a lot off of her plate. And she's very happy with that. Like she tells me all the time, she's very happy. Like we ended up working together, and I actually been with her since I started. Like I started in 2017. She was one of my very first clients, and we're still together.
That is amazing, amazing. And I love that because you're doing you're thinking about the big picture, not just the one sheet that you're creating, but the big picture of the what ifs and the preparation and the resources for when things get tough, because that's when businesses tend to stop and halt or sell or just drop off, right? Is when things get hard. It's kind of hard to plunge through if you can't pay your staff or your bills. And so what I hear you saying is it really takes off the stress. You allow your clients to think about that and have a reserve because they know where their money is going. Which reminds me of not very long ago, I was talking to another business coach, and she's an amazing person, just like you. And she's like, one of the questions she had was, where is your money going? And so, like, calculate where your money is going. You would be surprised at all your recurring Apple subscriptions, or like all of the things you have, like that one workout app that's like every year comes out. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like when you go on your phone and you see those recurring, not good invested expenses, you get a little bit like,
Yes.
what am I thinking? But then when you let them go, it's like, huh, well, that feels great. So I'm sure you help people do that. Like, where is your money going every single day?
Yeah,
Right.
that's the biggest thing. Just personally, like I'm a sports mom. So my daughter runs track, like competitive track. So that includes a list of expenses of its own. Like we might be traveling out of state. So there's a hotel. We might have to rent a car if we're going somewhere else. Like it's so much stuff that I have to keep a long list of, that even doing bookkeeping has helped me manage that. Like it's really been about planning. Like I'm pulling up schedules and saying, okay, well, we have to be here. Let's look for hotels now. Let's do this. It just,
Mhm.
it really puts you in that mindset. And I like that as a business owner, like being able to be, yeah. So planning is really important. Being a sports mom, like I'm making sure we're planning ahead of time. We're getting hotels. We have all of those fees that are going to be associated with what we have going on are already taken care of, so that you don't have to be in panic mode all the time when things come up. And that's something that I like to teach my clients. It's like, let's have a plan. Like, we need to have a plan for what if there is a time where people aren't buying or there's not a lot of revenue coming in. You're still going to have some of these expenses. Like, they're going to be things that you just can't let go to keep your business running. So we want to make sure you have reserves set up. I like to tell clients to do multiple accounts. Like, you're going to have your operations account, you're going to have your savings account, and then if you're running payroll, put something to the side for payroll, so that you'll have everything separated. And when it's time to do those expenses, you can pull out of these buckets instead of using your working capital. So planning is just one of the most important things I feel in business that we always just need to know.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. It reminds me of something I used to teach my clients in a clinical setting about, like, because money is just it's a story, right? Money goes back generations, and the way we think about money, the ability to save, the ability to just have money coming in and just goes out as fast as it comes in. There's a story behind that. And you get to shift that. If you want to shift your money story and create wealth and abundance for your family, your business, your kids, your grandchildren, you get to change that story now. And so we used to like put money or like label envelopes, and what now we're like making different accounts for them, right? So like savings envelope, checking, fun, like, but you're like, let's create an account for savings, for to pay our staff, to have this over here and this over here, and to have the buckets filled ahead of time, because we get to not be in panic. We get to not like be stressed out about money. We get to be confident in our ability when we start a business that it's going to be fluid, right? And starting a business also, in my experience, is a little bit challenging throughout the first, just all the time. There's always something that comes up, right? That stresses us out. And so this planning that you help your clients create has to be such a weight lifted off of their shoulders, right? The relationships that you build and the connection with your clients, I'm sure, is pretty strong as well, because they trust you. They have, they trust you with their, like, where their money is going. It's one of the things that it's super intimate, right?
Yes.
How much debt you have, where your money is going, what you're going to do with it, your business, why you're running your business, or your money story is all an intimate conversation. And so you get to dive in and build those connections with your clients. And that's got to be beautiful.
Yes, I do love it. I mean, honestly, it might not feel like it, but bookkeeping does become like an intimate thing, because you're kind of looking at where people are going, where are they eating at, what are they spending their money on, what type of bills do they have, even those businesses that might go into the negative every once in a while. Like, there's no judgment on our end. Like, we really want to just help people with whatever their goals are. Myself, like, I didn't grow up with a lot of money. Everything that I have, I work for myself, and my goal has always been to build generational wealth. Like, I want my kids to have things that I didn't have when I was a kid. So just knowing that, and knowing that there are other people out there when they're starting their business, those are their goals too. Like, we are on the same path together. So I want both of us to grow together and gain knowledge. Whatever knowledge I can I'll give to them. A lot of my clients, even with like the LLC and the S Corp thing, I found that out just starting working with my client, and that was something that she was doing. And I was like, oh, let me learn a little bit more about that. And I've passed that knowledge on to other business owners that I know, just so they won't be double taxed, or they were wondering, well, what's self-employment tax and why do I have to pay this and all of that. So it's going to be an educational process for both of us, and I love it, and I hope my clients love it too.
That's amazing. Well, I just love this. I love this because paying bills and having that for anybody. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Amazon. My Lanta. So sorry about that. Real life, people, real life here. Oh my goodness. Complete sidetrack. Sometimes I want to unplug her when I'm on here, because she talks to me all the time. I'm just like, what are you even doing right now? Anyway, She can listen to this money story. It's fine, right? Maybe you'll get more clients.
I know.
Oh my gosh. So I love this. So what is one thing, like as we wrap up, what is one thing that you just think that everybody should know, bottom line, like a tip or like just something strategic that they can take off right now? And then we're going to talk about how people can connect with you. Because this is super important to me. It's super important to me to share with this community any opportunity to grow your wealth, to change your mindset, and to really have attention to details. Because I think we get wrapped into that money story and we get depressed and we get sad every single time a bill comes in. And it doesn't have to be like that forever. We can change that trajectory. And that's why we're here today, right, LaShonde? And so what is like one massive tip that you're like, you get to know this and it's super easy? Like, what would you share?
One tip I would say is just organization, like find some type of organization. A lot of people will sign up for like an accountant software. And if you're not at the place where you don't want to pay that monthly fee, use an Excel sheet, use a Google sheet, something where you're actually going to break down your income and you're going to break down your expenses, and then just put them into categories. And it doesn't have to be, I think a lot of people get, oh, I have to have everything in these accountant terms and all of that. No, you can put food, clothes, whatever you want to do, just to break it down, but keep it organized. Because I think when you see those numbers, you get a better idea of where your money is going, which is going to be very important. Like, you always want to know where your money's coming from and where it's going, and then what you're netting each month. So that would be my one tip, is just stay organized with, if you're going to be the person with the box of receipts, take those receipts out and put it on something that you can look at and see a picture of it. Because I think once you, and I'm a visual person too, so I think once you kind of see those numbers there, you can start planning from there.
Oh my gosh. So my box is not good enough.
It's good. We
Asking
just
for
want
a
to get it
friend.
organized. Yeah, it's good. We just want to get it organized.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I love that. Okay, LaShonde, how can these amazing humans connect with you?
Yes. So we are everywhere over the internet. You can Google BookCity LLC. You'll be able to find us on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. If you want to reach me directly, you can email me at LaShonde, so it's LASHONDE at bookcitybookkeeping.com.
Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. And it's going to be in your bio, in the membership. So you guys, if you're watching this recording, go in there, click on our link, learn more about ways of showing up for yourself and changing your wealth story. This has been beautiful. I love this conversation. I am so excited to just create wealth and to change the generational cycles of families all over the world. And you are amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your time with us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.